Welcome to episode number 3 in this video series, Your Bunker Mentality. Now before we get to the third tee on the old course, I'd like to introduce you to something very special that we have here. They say in the links land, nothing grows except scrub and grass. But here on the old course, we have the one and only tree on the golf course. It sits just behind the third tee, and a very impressive tree it is as well. Now, if you've got a caddy on the old course, a lot of the caddies worship this tree and think it's something really special to see a holly tree on the golf course. So your caddy may disappear for a couple of minutes to go and pay homage to the tree and have a little ceremony. And much the same way that dogs have a ceremony to their favourite lamppost, the caddies like to pay homage to this little tree here. So the third hole at St Andrews is a little bit of a shorter par 4 than we've been used to so far. But just because it's a short par 4 doesn't mean that it's without its troubles. Now there's one thing that caddies hate on the golf course is slow play. So I hope you're not dithering and dawdling and you're getting along and coming along with me here. So we'll get a little shifty on and we'll walk down the fairway here. As we walk up the third fairway, you'll notice there are 3 little bunkers on the right hand side here. And the ground does kind of slope towards these little bunkers. So quite often you can take a kick off a little mound and kick towards them. So the advice from the caddies is often to play a little left to be safe, because there's plenty fairway up the left side and left centre. I remember a good few years back, I was caddying for a young American kid who'd been granted a scholarship to one of the better colleges in America for golf. Now this young kid had a beautiful golf swing and an elegant rhythm, but I'm afraid that's where it ended. This hole was where things started to go a little bit awry with him. I gave him a 3-wood off the tee and a line to give him the perfect angle into the green for his approach shot. Unfortunately, this young gentleman pulled his tee shot 30 yards to the left of the target and found this little pot bunker that we're walking towards. Now he was in this little bunker and this is where he started throwing a hissy fit, telling me I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't tell him this little bunker was here. Now this little bunker is a little bit further left than he should have been in the hole, so it's 30 yards left of his target. I didn't really appreciate being told off by a young kid, but he said from now on he wanted to know about every single little bit of trouble that you could possibly find in the golf course. Now, that was a challenge for me, but I do relish a challenge, so from here on in I made sure he knew about every little bit of trouble in the golf course. Now, as we know, the unconscious mind can't process a negative. If you say don't think of a pink elephant, then you've got to think of a pink elephant before cancelling it from your mind. So we had a little bit of fun from here on in. I would tell him there's a bunker 250 yards on the left hand side that you definitely don't want to hit. And there's a gorse bush at 280 on the right that you shouldn't go into. So from there on in, I would tell him where the trouble was and he would find the trouble almost every single time. It culminated on the 17th hole. When he was on the tee, I gave him a line over the buildings towards the fairway in the distance. He turned to me and said, "Colin, that's no good to me. I want to know where the trouble is in this hole. Is it right or left?" Well, the 17th is one of the most famous holes in golf. And all I could turn around and say was, well, there is a 5-star hotel on the right hand side. As we get up towards the green here, at the side of the green, we get to the famous Cartgate bunker. Cartgate's a most impressive bunker. We'll take a little pop in here. and have a look around. I remember a good few years back, one of the caddies, who shall remain nameless to save his blushes, was lining up his golfer's putt on the green when he stepped too far back and fell over this big lip here and landed on his back in the bunker. Now, seeing a caddy flat on his back in the bunker, looking like a young kid making snow fairies, is an image that will stay with me for a very, very long time. So if Cartgate Bunker could give us some psychological advice, what would it tell us? Well, with that young kid that wanted to know everything, and with the caddy that fell in the bunker, then there can only be one piece of advice that Cartgate Bunker would give us, and that's the Goldilocks principle. You know, this young kid had all the good intentions in the world, but wanting to know everything was overloading his unconscious and conscious mind with external distractions and stopped him from being in the moment and playing his game. While the caddy wasn't paying attention, he fell into the bunker. So it's funny in life that someone can be wanting to know so much that they overload themselves and don't perform, while another person's paying so little attention that they just fall flat on their back. So I guess in golf, the lesson to learn is just right, just what's enough for you. Some people need to know more than others, and you need to know what's best for you. So the lesson from the Goldilocks principle is what's right for you, and to ask your mind and body what you'd really need to know when you're on the golf course that allows you to play in the moment and be mindful. Okay, thank you very much, Cartgate Bunker, for that helpful psychological advice. You take care of yourself, and whatever you do, make sure you watch out for falling caddies. As we cross the fairway here, we come to another of my two favourite bunkers in the golf course. I remember about 10 years ago I was caddying for an elderly American named Bill. Now Bill had a good approach to this green, but he'd unfortunately taken a little kick off the bank here and kicked into this little pot bunker here. Now, as I said earlier, there are 112 bunkers on St Andrew's Old Course, and about 30% of these bunkers have got names. The rest of the bunkers remain anonymous, like snitches on a witness protection programme. You kind of know their faces a little bit, but you don't know their names. So old Bill was in this little pot bunker here and took an almighty swing and managed to clear the lip and get out of the bunker, but had the misfortune of rolling off the next bank and into the next little pot bunker here. Being the ever sympathetic caddy that I am, I turned round to Bill and said, "Hard lines, Bill. Out of the frying pan and into the fire." Bill looked at me and said, "Hey Colin, I didn't know that was the name of these two little bunkers here." So from that day to this, these two little bunkers have been known as frying pan and fire, or even the mixed up metaphor bunkers. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Bunker Mentality. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. And until the next time, whether it's a frying pan or whether it's a fire, if you put your fingers in them, you're still going to get burned.